Hello and welcome to another Monday meetup. Today we're going to be chatting about athletics and recreation as well as general wellness on campus. Today I'm joined by quite a large team. We have staff from our athletics and recreation team as well as our student affairs team. We are also joined by a few current students on campus and they're going to chat about their experience in athletics as well as some of the club teams. On top of that, we're obviously here to answer all of your questions today. So if you do have any questions for our students, for our faculty and staff, please feel free to use the Q&A and submit that. So the Monday Meetup series is a part of the Lakehead International Live series, which is a fun and informative way for our applicants as well as our future students to connect with us here at Lakehead and learn more about our programs, learn more about on-campus offerings, meet current students. So Monday Meetup is of course thematic based, where we do meet typically services and opportunities on campus. Tuesdays and Thursdays we meet a current student over on Instagram, and we do an Instagram live, chat about their student experience, academic experience, what they think about Lakehead, all that. Wednesdays is our Wednesday weekly admissions update, so we actually get to sit down with our graduate and undergraduate admissions team and ask them all sorts of questions related to your applications, deadlines, all that sort of stuff. And then we wrap up the week with our Faculty Friday, where we meet a different program every week. This Friday, we're actually going to be meeting quite a few faculty and staff members from psychology, and we're going to dive into that program. So my name is Jordan. I will be the moderator today. And I am the International New and Social Media Officer here on campus. So what that means is I help oversee our online and digital recruitment efforts overseas. And I do quite a few other things on campus with current students, but I'll pass it off to Patrick Carr next, and he'll do a brief intro of himself.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Carr. I'm one of the international recruitment officers here at Lakehead University. I work with students out of the Middle East and Africa, as well as the Caribbean. And I'm happy to be here today talking about any questions you may have about the recruitment process for all my colleagues around the world. Happy to be here.
Awesome. And now we'll pass it off to Raquel, who is joining us from Aurelia.
Hello everyone, my name is Raquel and I work at the Lakehead Aurelia campus in athletics and recreation. On this campus, we also have a wellness component, so if you had any questions about health and wellness, you could also come to myself to see me in the Wellness Center, or if you had questions about athletics or what you can do around Aurelia, you can come and chat with me as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raquel. Next, we'll have Megan from the Thunder Bay campus join us and chat about herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Megan, Manager of Operations and Client Services at our CJ Sanders Fieldhouse, which has our gym and our hangar location for students. And I'm here to answer any questions you might have in regards to our athletic facilities, also our varsity campus rec, any activities that you might be interested in here at Lakehead.
Thank you so much, Megan. And next we'll pass it off to Laura Ferguson.
Hi everybody, my name is Laura and I am our coordinator of programs and initiatives in the athletics and recreation department on Thunder Bay campus. So what that means is I oversee all of our programming, which includes intramurals, it includes club sports, fitness programming, everything along those lines. So I'm happy to help answer any questions that you guys have along those topics.
Thank you so much, Laura. So next we're going to have Lou chat about her involvement as a current student as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Lu Wen and I come from China. I currently study in MBA program and I go to gym about twice or three times every week. I would love to share my experience. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. And then last but not least, we're going to have Jonathan chat about what he does here at Lakehead as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan. I'm from Mexico. I'm part of the Lakehead Soccer Club. And also I'm a current student in biotechnology, the PhD. I'm here to help you to answer any question that you may have regarding to the use of the gym or any kind of club that we have around the campus. And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I do want to extend my big thank you to the entire team today for joining us. This was quite a thing to pull off, obviously coordinating so many different schedules. And that's exactly what we wanted to do, though. We wanted to be here and answer your questions, whether they're related to athletics, whether they're related to campus rec, wellness opportunities, all that sort of stuff. Please feel free to submit those. So next I'll chat a bit about things to remember throughout today's webinar, and then we'll dive into the information, of course. So of course, if you like what you see, don't worry, we will be sending out the recording or the link at the end of this week. So typically when we send out our invites by email, so if you are on our mailing list, we will send a weekly invite to all of our upcoming live events. At the bottom of that email, we also include all of our past recording links. Those same recordings are also put on our YouTube channel, Lakehead University, under the playlist Lakehead International Live. So you can always monitor those. We typically upload the videos within a day or two after of the video going live. If you do have questions today throughout the entire webinar, please submit those using the Q&A function if you are joining us from Zoom. And we will be happy to either answer live or behind the scenes. If you are joining us on Facebook Live, you can comment. Or if you're watching this video as a recording, you can always comment on that video as well, and our Lakehead team will be monitoring those as well so that we can answer or get to your question as soon as possible. Last but not least, I always like to encourage people to stay connected with us, follow us on our social media. We do post regular updates about upcoming webinars, as well as we provide an insider sneak peek as to what happens here at Lakehead University, both on the student experience side, the academic experience, and so much more. So I do encourage you to follow us on there. Otherwise, I will move right into some of the information. So what we typically like to talk about when we dive into athletics and recreations is the physical facilities. So the athletic facilities that our students will be using to stay healthy, stay fit, all that sort of stuff. So I'll pass it off maybe to our Thunder Bay team first to chat about some of the athletic facilities on campus. And then I'll definitely have Raquel and Aurelia follow up with the athletic facilities for our Aurelia students.
So we are currently in construction of adding on a brand new facility to our current offering for athletics and exercise opportunities. Our current facility has 2 rooms for exercising that have all the equipment that you'd need for getting yourself fit while you're at university. And then on top of that, we also have extra exercise facilities within our hangar, which is a huge field that can be split in half for different activities. So whether that be soccer, football, cricket, anything you can think of that you'd want to use a field for. We have a huge venue for students for that. And around that runs our track. So you can run around the track as well. And then we also have an Olympic-sized swimming pool to use at your recreation for students. And then we also have community members that buy memberships to come and work out within our facilities. And then we also have a large gym that our varsity players play basketball and volleyball in. And then we are having a new facility built, which is going to be called the Wolf's Den. And it is going to be 2 floors of workout facilities, and then a brand new huge gym for use of campus rec activities, which Laura will touch on. And then breakout kind of study spaces for our students that like to use our athletic department. And some really cool cozy spaces for you to have a chat or do some quiet studying. And then there'll be, Laura's office will be in the new building. So if anybody has questions, if you do come to Lakehead, she'll be in that new facility, answering any questions you have. And it's going to be basically a really, really cool new and improved exercise facility for our students to enjoy. And we are currently building that now, and we're hoping that it will be finished in the fall or early winter, just with how construction is going with all the COVID craziness right now. But it will be up and running, and it's going to be awesome. I'll pass it off to Laura just to chat a bit more about some other offerings we have.
Yeah, so Megan kind of covered most of our facilities. For those of you that may be here in the summertime, we do also have a couple outdoor fields. So for those of you that want to get soccer or football in, as some of you may call it, you can get that done outside. And we have a few auxiliary areas as well. We have the Alaskan gym where we play our intramural volleyball programming. And then within residence, they actually have their own gym as well, where they run their own series of Saturday sports. So there's a couple other areas scattered across campus. But I noticed in the question, someone asked about gym fees. So for those of you that are registered full-time and pay your student fees, that does include a membership to the gym. So that includes access to all of the facilities that Megan just discussed. So going into the weight room, the cardio room, open swim, open basketball, all of those kind of things. The only thing those fees don't include would be additional programming. So if you are looking to sign up for a club or an intramural, there are some additional costs associated with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for covering the Thunder Bay campus in depth for sure. And then I'll pass it off to Raquel to chat about the Aurelia experience.
Hi again, everyone. So when you are attending Lakehead Aurelia as a student, you get a membership to the YMCA of Simcoe Muskoka. The Aurelia YMCA is about 20 minutes on the bus from the Aurelia campus. And at the Aurelia YMCA, there is a swimming pool, which is included in the membership, a fitness center where you can exercise with weights, cardio equipment, and then there is also a yoga studio, as well as a gymnasium where you can play sports such as volleyball, basketball, cricket, and we try and also host 2 intramurals each semester. Some may be at the Aurelia YMCA, but they may also be at other facilities near the Aurelia campus. So depending on what the sport is and what the facility requirement is, it will be as close as possible to the campus. Other programs we do are field trips. So we'll go curling at the local curling club. We also go rock climbing and bouldering, which is indoors, and that usually happens in the winter semester. And we're also open to lots of other opportunities. If there's something that you would like to do, we're always open to chatting about planning another field trip elsewhere in Aurelia or close by.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for covering what Aurelia does and obviously chatting about the fact that both of our athletics departments, so even if you're on the Thunder Bay campus or the Aurelia campus, obviously our athletics teams are there to support our students. And the most important thing in that is having an open ear to listen to what our students want to do and what they want to see happen on campus, and then using their voices to actually influence change. So when students want to see potentially new rec sports come up or new club teams come up, there are definitely possibilities to see those new opportunities happen. It's based on the students actually voicing that concern or voicing that opinion. So we do have a few questions. The first one comes from, the question, is, are there any gyms near residence? So I'll first pass it off to Thunder Bay to chat about where at residence is located based on the athletic facilities, and then I'll have Raquel follow up for Aurelia.
Okay, so for Thunder Bay, you literally follow a little path that's about 3-4 minutes, I would say, walk, and you go over a little bridge because we have a river flowing through there. And then when you get past that is our facility right there. So if you're living on campus, it's not more than a 5-minute walk. Well, the campus, is it 5 minutes, Laura, about?
Yeah, about if you live in the farther townhouses, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
At most.
So, but walking, you can walk there from the main campus within 5, and then maybe if you're furthest townhouse, then you might be 10 minutes. But yeah, our exercise facility is right there on campus.
And for those of
Awesome.
you
And
that
then
live
for students
off
living,
campus, oh, sorry.
sorry, for students living off campus too, if they're going to use their bus pass, they're dropped off right in the heart of campus on Thunder Bay, and then the walk from that location is maybe 5 minutes. I know there's also a few bus stops located right outside of the athletics building, so it just depends on which stop your route drops you off at first, or what you're willing to do for outdoor exercise. Technically, the stops outside of the athletic building on the main road there are only a couple minute walk. But obviously, like I said, it depends on which direction you're coming from on the public transit and what's most convenient to you. Because I also know that some students, they might do it all in one. So they might stop on main campus, do some studying, and then go release some steam on the gym. So it depends on what your day looks like. But athletics in the Thunder Bay campus itself is still, it's spread out in the sense that there's lots of fresh air, lots of nature that surrounds our campus, but it's also quite close to each other in the sense that it's only about a 5-minute walk in most cases to the athletic facilities, or vice versa, athletic back to your classroom, your residence, your car, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I was even thinking some of the places that students rent out off of campus are actually like right across the road from the entrance to campus. So there's a lot of rentals super close to the university that even if you had to walk to the exercise facility from your house, it's only an extra 5 minutes on top of if you're walking from campus. So there's a lot of rentals nearby as well.
And also, and also for students who lived off campus, we have bus stop, and there are a bus stop around corner for about hangar and athletes about 2 minutes walk, and the bus have many numbers. I think it's covered most of the students' rental place.
For sure. So then I'll pass it off to Raquel to chat about how students can access the YMCA in Aurelia.
And so for students to access the Aurelia YMCA, when you first arrive on campus, whether that be in the fall semester or winter semester, you can go to Student Central, which is one of the main desks in the Aurelia campus. It's quite small, so you can't miss it when you walk in. And that's where you can pick up a YMCA sticker. It'll go on your student card, and then you bring that to the YMCA and they will process a membership for you. Now the YMCA is available by bus, or of course you can drive. It would be a little bit far to walk, but in the nicer weather, you're more than welcome to give that a try. This facility is open during the daytime hours, and they have, like I mentioned, the gymnasium, which has different open gym times, the fitness center, the swimming pool, which also has a variety of open swim times, and then they also have some drop-in fitness and group fitness classes that you can attend to. Most of those you don't have to sign up for in advance, and they're just included in the membership. Similar to what Laura said about the Thunder Bay campus, there are additional programs that could cost additional fees depending if it's included in the membership or not, but there are quite a few already included. I think that answers most of the question for the Aurelia YMCA.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. So there's another question here from Albert. are the facilities open to everyone or to students who are in sports? So the answer to that is that the athletics facilities on either campus are open to all of our students. So it doesn't matter if you're on a varsity team or a club team or a part of a certain workout group, you can do your own thing. So that's the really nice thing about our athletics facility, is the fact that even if your friends might want to work out in a big group, or they are all a part of a team and they do team workouts and whatnot, you can still go do your own thing and you can work out totally on your own. But like both Megan, Laura, and Raquel have mentioned, there are opportunities where we do provide extra programming. So students can get involved in classes, they can do workout programs, but there are open periods, of course, where they can use the pool, the gym, all that sort of stuff. So I do see a question about some varsity teams and whatnot in Aurelia. We'll hold off on that question just for a second until we get to those slides. But there's another one: is athletics free for off-campus students, or do they have to pay extra? So as Laura had already mentioned, athletics fees are already built into the student fees that you pay with your tuition. So all you have to do is get your student card to access the Thunder Bay campus athletics facilities, or as Raquel mentioned, once you get your student card, you can actually stop at Student Central and get the YMCA sticker put on the card, and then the YMCA will process your registration for their facilities. See some more questions. Can we see some pictures of the fitness center and the swimming pool? For sure. So I have a couple more photos coming up. So this one, of course, is just showing the weights room here. And then we also have the pool here. So this is the pool in Thunder Bay. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So it's quite large, and there's open hours. Maybe Laura, if you could expand slightly on the swimming pool, I would love for that.
Yeah, so the pool that you guys see in the picture there is actually 50 meters long, which makes it an Olympic length pool. Typically, it's not fully open like it is in this photo. There's actually a big barricade that goes right in the middle and divides it into two 25-meter pools. So that opens up more lanes. The one end is a little bit more shallow and the other end is a little bit deeper. We don't have a varsity swimming team, so whenever the pool is open, it's generally open use. And as students, you don't have to pay to go to drop-in swim. They do have some equipment available, so like flutter boards, kickboards, all those kind of things. And for those of you that maybe aren't super comfortable swimming, we do also offer adult swimming lessons. Those are an additional fee, but you can do those to get a little bit more comfortable in the pool. And we have a few other programs. We run an aqua fitness class out of the pool, which is super fun, so you can get your workout done in the water. And we also run one of our intramurals, which is inner tube water polo in the pool.
Awesome. And obviously, I'd love to highlight the fact that you offer those adult swim lessons. Living in Thunder Bay or Aurelia, located right on lakes, so Lake Superior, Lake Couchiching. I always recommend that students know how to swim or learn how to swim, because I truly think that the Canadian experience is also hopping in some cold water. So obviously Lake Superior is the world's largest freshwater lake. So it's a very big lake and it can get pretty cold. It takes a while to heat up in the summer. There's definitely some areas where I think it's beautiful, and then my friends will jump in and think that I'm crazy because it's cold. But swimming in Lake Superior, swimming in Lake Couchiching is really, really a Canadian experience, and I would highly recommend, if you aren't familiar with swimming, to take advantage of these lessons. I know that Laura mentioned that they are an additional fee, which is still not too expensive to my knowledge, and it is quite economical or affordable. So if students are interested in that passion, I would definitely encourage you to explore it. So we have a few other questions. Here's a good question from Miriam. Can students' family use the facilities as well? So I'll have Thunder Bay chat about that first.
On the Thunder Bay campus, they are not included in your fees, but you do have the option to purchase a discounted family membership as a Lakehead student. So if you have family members that are going to be in Thunder Bay with you, you can purchase a larger membership that will grant all of them access. So that's an option. It's just not already included in your fees. You need to pay a little bit extra to get them access.
Awesome, thank you. And then Raquel, could you maybe speak to if students in Aurelia wanted to upgrade their membership, or if that's a possibility?
Yeah, so all of those decisions would be made through the Aurelia YMCA, but the YMCA does offer family memberships. Yours as a student, of course, would be included in your student fees. But if you chat with the Aurelia YMCA, they might be able to work something out to get you on a family plan with those of you who are coming to stay in Aurelia area with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I have another question. I might have my colleague Patrick Carr help me out with this one. It's with regards to courses for the fall 2020 semester. So the question is, are you planning online classes for fall 2020 for international students? So the answer to that question is that fall 2020 semester is still moving forward. We will be offering full classes so that all of our students can either start their programs or in many cases, of course, continue on in their program with no roadblocks. The question at hand really right now is the method of delivery for those courses. So right now we are exploring the options of in-person, online, remote delivery, all sorts of things. Lakehead's senior management team is monitoring the current global pandemic extremely closely, and we are acting on the Government of Canada's instructions as well as the Public Health Authority's instructions to make proper decisions to ensure that our faculty, staff, and students are safe and that we can still provide programming and courses at a safe method. So although that decision has not been made yet, I would love to draw your attention to the bottom of the screen. So if you see the link there, lakeheadu.ca/about/coronavirus, if you visit that webpage, that is our main landing page for all of the updates regarding COVID-19. So there is a FAQ section dedicated to future students. So those are students that will be joining us in the upcoming fall intake. And some of those genuine questions or regular questions that we're receiving, we already have answers populated there. As well, once we do know more about the fall 2020 intake or that semester and how those courses will be offered or delivered, you will see that update come through on that website immediately. As well, if you are an applicant of ours, we will most likely send you an email update as well. But those decisions, like I said, have not been made yet. And we just want to make sure that we're making the decision once we know enough from the public health authorities within Canada as well.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Jordan, we encourage all of our applicants to go along the application process as they normally would, because as you mentioned, classes will be offered in the fall in some method of instruction. And so we want all of our students who have a goal of studying in September or fall 2020 to be able to do that, whether that be in an in-person delivery model or an online delivery model as those decisions are made. And if you have any specific questions about your unique case, I would encourage you to reach out to us directly as we're working with all of our applicants to ensure that we can work to meet their needs and their goals for this upcoming intake in this current environment we're in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick. So the next question I want to address is, are there any extra charges to use the gym, the pool, or the sports grounds apart from the tuition fee? So technically, as a student, you have tuition fees and then other ancillary fees. So the ancillary fees is mandatory still, and the athletics fee is built into that portion of your tuition. So technically, it's not separate in the sense of what you are required to pay, but it is billed individually so that you at least can understand exactly what your ancillary fees are costing you and what they're going towards. So that, for example, on top of the athletics fee, there's for undergraduate students, there's the bus pass fee. For all students, there's also the campus-wide computer improvement fund. I don't know if I have the exact title or the wording for that, but it is a general fund where computer equipment or technology that we offer within our library or learning commons or study spaces, those computers of course need to be updated on a regular basis, and we want to always have the most top-notch technology available to our students and softwares available, and so students have to pay a portion into that, of course, but that's all built into your ancillary fees. Next week we're actually going to be sitting down with our international accounts officer, Chris Gallinger, and he's going to chat about tuitions, ancillary fees, how to make payments, all that sort of stuff. And that will be next Monday for the Monday meetup. So I do encourage you, if you want to learn more, you can either visit us on our website, lakeheadu.ca/international, check out the Future Student tab, or hold off until next Monday and we'll have Chris Gallinger here from the International Accounts Office. So there's another question. What are the timings and working days of the fitness center in Thunder Bay? And are there any trainers to guide those activities?
So our facility during the school year is open every day of the week, so Sunday through Saturday. And on the weekdays, we're open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on the weekends, it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So pretty much open most waking hours. We do have some options if you're getting to know the gym. So for free, we were able to do facility tours and kind of walk you through where all the equipment is. If you're looking for some more instruction on how to use the equipment, we do have fitness classes and personal trainers that you can get set up with. Again, those are additional programs that have some cost to them, but there's some really great training programs and there's a wide variety of packages, so you can find one that suits your financial restrictions or anything along those lines. But yeah, we're open a majority of the time. The only time we really close is on major holidays, so Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, along those lines. In the summers, if you're here, we aren't open on Sundays typically in the summer.
Awesome. So now I'll move on to the next slide where we're going to chat about varsity sports. I see a question asking about our hockey team. So I'm really excited to chat about that. So obviously this is a photo from one of our varsity basketball games. But I have the next photo here is actually our Thunderwolves hockey team. So I will pass it off to our Thunder Bay Athletics team to chat about varsity sports and sort of how students can get involved, whether it be on the team or whether it be in the audience at Fort William Gardens or in our hangar.
So our Lakehead Thunderwolves are our Thunder Bay huge team for us here. So they play at our large hockey facility in Thunder Bay, the Fort William Gardens. And anyone in the public and any students are welcome to go to the games, usually Friday and Saturday nights. And the tickets are separate, so you have to purchase your tickets either online through our website or at the gate when you arrive at the games. So that's separate. It's not included in your student fees, but the tickets are super reasonably priced, and the atmosphere is brilliant. The whole community gets out and roots them on, and it's a fast-paced, action-packed game. And a lot of our students go out and really, really enjoy watching and rooting the team on. If you wanted to get involved with the actual team, that's separate. Obviously, they do their scouting for that, and you'd have to play hockey already and such. So it's more like, if you're gonna come here, you'll go and watch the games, unless you're already a hockey player and you'd know all about the stuff of getting recruited onto a team, I'm sure. Yeah, so super exciting. And if you do come to Thunder Bay, it's a great part of our winters here.
For sure, yeah. And also to add on to that, I know that our residence team, so on the Thunder Bay campus, of course, we're quite close to our athletics facilities within residence. But for our hockey games, we do have to travel. So our residents will actually organize buses to pick up our students living on campus and bring them to the game. And I know that they do organize a few nights where actually residents will cover the entire cost of that trip. And I've been to the game, of course, on some of those nights where the entire residence community is sitting in the arena. And there's just such a great feeling to know that there's so many Lakehead students that are proud to be supporting their team and cheering them on. And I definitely think that helps our team improve their skills or shoot a little better because they have so much extra support during those games. So I certainly encourage you, as soon as you arrive on campus and our team sports are back up and running, varsity sports, and you can go attend games and you can cheer on your Thunderwolves, absolutely get out there and be there as often as you can, because of course you're here for your academic experience, you're here to study and do the best in your program, but there are times where you should unwind and you should take some time for yourself, and there's no better way than to enjoy a nice sporting event with your friends and cheering on your fellow classmates and your fellow Lakehead Thunderwolves.
And
So,
to get to the games, it's only 10 or 15 minutes on the bus or a car, probably even 10. Thunder Bay, you can get places everywhere within 15, 20 minutes without crazy traffic, which is brilliant.
yeah, definitely.
And if I can just add to that as well, for those of you that have done a little research on our website, you may have heard of LUSU, which is our Lakehead University Students Union. They often do ticket giveaways, so they'll have a bunch of free tickets that they'll give away to our hockey games. So they're a great social media account to keep an eye on as a student. And if you do want to get involved with the team at all, but not as a player, we have a lot of student staff positions that work with all of our varsity teams. So if you really love hockey, but you're not a player, there are some opportunities to work at the games and get a little income, along with our other varsity sports as well on the Thunder Bay campus.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura and Megan. So I would love to pass it off to Raquel now. So we have a question from Pierre. He would like to know about the varsity soccer team on the Aurelia campus. I know that we have a men's and women's varsity soccer team on the Aurelia campus. Could you speak a bit more about that varsity soccer team? Where do they play, the tryouts, etc., that sort of stuff?
Yeah, sure. So the varsity men's and women's indoor soccer team start off their season in September. That's when their tryouts are. For the fall semester, for the last few years, they played in a local league just to prep for the season, which is in the winter semester. And in this fall league, it's men's and women's leagues not associated with any schools. And it's just to practice, get to know the teammates, and get ready for the season, as I mentioned, in the winter semester. So our men's and women's varsity indoor soccer teams are in the OCAA, and that's the association that organizes all of the tournaments. We usually attend 2 to 3 tournaments in the winter semester, which are hosted at indoor facilities around Southern Ontario. And then finally, the regional tournament is what all of this leads up to. And that's where the competition starts to increase, and that's where you'll move on, if successful, to the championship tournament. It's a little different than league sports such as hockey, where there's games played every week. What this team does is practice for tournaments. So you'll go for a day, like I mentioned, to an indoor facility. It's pretty chilly here in the winter months, so there isn't much outdoor soccer, and that's why it's all played inside. And then they'll practice once a week. They will have fitness once a week as well, and usually, and that's both in the fall and winter semester. If you wanted to reach out to the coach, you can find all that information on aureliathunderwolves.ca, and they can give you more information on that too.
Thank you so much for giving us such a good knowledge about the indoor soccer varsity teams in Aurelia. So I do see a few questions regarding some of the sports and activities and the full listings. So if you actually do have one of our view books right here, inside here there's a page dedicated to athletics and recreation, where you have a full list of the varsity and clubs teams. But with regards to the question about activities that you could do, so that typically refers to some of those other programmings, rec teams, all that sort of stuff. You can find that on our athletics website. So if you visit lakeheadu.ca/athletics, you will eventually be led to the athletics site based on which campus you're looking at. So if you're looking at the Thunder Bay campus, it's different than the Aurelia athletics website. So just be aware of that when you're looking at the activities and the sports. Just to give you a full rundown of the varsity sports we have basketball, cross-country running, golf, hockey, indoor soccer, Nordic skiing, track and field, volleyball, wrestling, and to name some of the club teams too, which we're going to dive into the soccer club team on the Thunder Bay campus in just a minute here with Jonathan. So we have alpine skiing, basketball, cricket, curling, dance, equestrian, hockey, rugby, soccer, ultimate frisbee, volleyball. And then, like we had already mentioned, the recreational teams such as badminton, synchronized swimming, flag football, and so much more. I know that there's been quite a few teams and lots of interest in those rec teams lately, and also the intramural games and just fun activities to be involved in. So I do encourage you, if you're looking to learn more or get more information, either connect directly with our athletics department or explore their websites, because they definitely keep those updated with plenty of information.
And I was just going to mention that I've noticed my family downhill skis in the winter, and there's a lot of students that just head out to the ski hill to just try out downhill skiing, never done it before. Students just like you that are watching right now. And I always tell them to get out and go get a pair of snow pants, because they're skiing down the hill in jeans and it's minus whatever it is outside, and they don't care. They're all fine. I'm like, but it's minus 15 out, and they have no snow pants on and they're just enjoying themselves, and you can get lessons out there. And so in the winter, you know, we might get some cold weather, but there's lots of activity going on, whether that's downhill or cross country or snowshoeing, or ice climbing, and in the summer, hiking and mountain bike trails. So there's lots to get out and try on your own even. But we can direct you where to go and how to rent things if you need to. So there's lots of stuff you can do if you want to go do an adventure, you know, you and a friend as well.
Awesome. And also speaking to that, I think this ties really well into one of the questions about camping trips and just kind of those extracurricular excursions that we do arrange. So like I had previously mentioned, our residence team takes our students to many of the varsity games. They also recently organized like a take over the hill night where their students got to go skiing, snowboarding, tubing, and it looked like amazing fun. It's on our social media if you want to check that out. There's some great photos and students definitely got to try it out. I can also echo what you said though. I myself like to ski in the winter with my friends, and I've definitely seen some familiar faces from the Thunder Bay campus on the ski hill that aren't fully suited up for traditional skiing gear.
Yeah.
But even if they're not in their full gear, the smile on their faces and the laughs that I hear and just like the amount of fun that I see that they're having really is great to interact with and also just experience, because obviously I'm fortunate enough to be born and raised in Thunder Bay. I grew up with this sort of stuff, so I take it for granted sometimes. But then when students get to try it out and experience all the different winter sports that you can do, so maybe they're from a tropical climate and they're used to all outdoor hot sports.
Football.
They have nothing, no knowledge, nothing to do with winter activities, no snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, alpine skiing, none of that. And then when they get to try it, they're quite impressed with how fun it is. So I'll pass it off to Patrick to answer a question regarding camping trips.
Sure. So we had a great question about are there any organized camping trips during the school year, essentially. And there actually, our International Student Services team does organize a camping trip. Usually it's in the fall semester. This year it was in late October, but when you get to campus, you'll connect with our International Student Services team, and they put on a ton of great events year-round, including a camping trip. And I think it's fantastic that you're interested in going camping, it's a very North American activity, and we have some great spots for camping trips here in the Thunder Bay region, and I'm sure there are some great camping spots in the Orillia region as well for students to experience some beautiful natural environments and campgrounds. So the answer is yes. Yes, there is an opportunity if you're interested in going camping through our International Student Services team.
Awesome. So now I'd like to chat about club teams. So this will, I'll pass it off to Jonathan, and I'm going to get Jonathan, who is actually a part of the men's soccer club team on campus. And I just want to hear about his experience, sort of what tryouts look like, how often they practice, when do they play, and who do they play, all that sort of stuff. So I'll pass it off to Jonathan to chat about his experience on that team.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, so we are a club team. That means we are not a varsity team. However, we take it very seriously. We do practice 2 to 3 times per week, depending on the schedule. We do the fitness practice. We do the like matchup practice. So we take it seriously. We also play in local leagues. Indoor leagues runs from winter to like from November to April. That is the winter league, and we play against local teams. And also we play against other of the schools here, the college. It's kind of derby. It's super fun, and it's a good level. I mean, it's for people who actually play soccer and have been playing for many years. Also, we have a summer league, kind of fall summer league. That league is an outdoor league. So we play during September at the beginning of the term, and goes through at the beginning of November. So we have 2 tournaments basically, and we can also have the opportunity to go out of the city. This year we wanted to go to Duluth to a tournament down there. Unfortunately, due to the COVID crisis, we couldn't go. But yeah, it's great. We have a coach, so it's also good to keep your feet on. If you, if you don't want to play at super high level, but you like to play soccer, it's a great opportunity to join. We have the tryouts at the beginning of the term in September. I guess if you're interested on joining the team, I don't know, Jordan, I can send the email of Farhan, that is our manager, or do it yourself. I don't know how that will work. We don't have like a web page, but Farhan Joseph is the manager of the team, so he definitely can help with that.
Awesome. Maybe so. If you actually wanted to, Jonathan, if you're comfortable putting your email in the Zoom chat,
Sure.
if students are interested in learning more about the men's club soccer team on the Thunder Bay campus, you can of course reach out with him, and he can provide you with more information, or at least connect you with the best person. I believe you mentioned Farhan is the manager of the team, and we can actually explore those options. Of course, Laura Ferguson helps coordinate these club teams too. And so maybe, Laura, I'll pass it off to you to chat about club teams on campus. And then I'll also have Raquel answer some questions too about club teams on the Orillia campus.
Great. Thanks, Jordan. So on the Thunder Bay campus, our club teams I kind of like to think of our sport teams in 3 tiers. So we have our varsity level, which is at the highest competition, then our club teams, and then our intramural teams. So our club teams still typically compete in some capacity, just not as much or as not at a high level as our varsity teams. The interesting thing about club teams is they're completely student run and led by students. So every year, the club teams that we have may change year to year depending on the group of students that are on campus. The ones that we typically have every single year include curling, our indoor soccer team, women's hockey, Co-ed Ultimate Frisbee is one of our largest clubs on campus, and then men's volleyball. This year we did have a cricket team that registered with us in the winter semester. They were purely a recreational club this particular year, so they were just playing on campus with other students. They didn't travel to any tournaments, but in years past they have done so. And then we also have an alpine skiing team some years, and a rugby team as well. So that all varies year to year. The clubs do have to have their own leadership within the team. So they have to have a president, a treasurer, things along those lines, and keep themselves organized, and we play a support role for them. So it's a really fun thing. Most of them typically practice 2 or 3 times a week. I saw in the chat that someone asked about a rowing team. This past year was our very first year having a rowing team on our Thunder Bay campus. So they actually worked with one of our local Thunder Bay rowing clubs and had some coaching done through them, and used their practice facility since we don't have one on campus. And they did go and compete at some local regattas, and we had one athlete make it to nationals and flew out to British Columbia to compete at the rowing nationals, which was really cool. So that kind of answers that question about rowing. So yeah, if there's any other questions about club sports, again, it does vary quite year to year how active a club is depending on the students involved. I also saw, Pierre, you asked about competitive swimming in that chat. I can answer for our Thunder Bay campus. So we don't currently have a club on campus. That is something that totally could get started if there's enough students interested. We definitely have a pool and space for those to do it. If you don't quite want to get that organized, we are also really close to the city's recreational complex called the Canada Games Complex. And the city of Thunder Bay runs what they call a Masters Swim Club out of their facility. So that's a swim club for athletes 18 and older. They do still get coached and do some competition. So that's an opportunity off campus in Thunder Bay.
Awesome. So I'll pass it off to Raquel to chat more about club teams. I know there's a question that she marked for the cricket team. As well, maybe you could touch on the competitive swimming and Aurelia as well.
Thanks, Jordan. So I did flag that question, does Lakehead have a cricket team? On the Aurelia campus this past year, there was a group of students who really wanted to start a cricket club. The association that we're a part of as well, called the OCR, does have a cricket league with tournaments and friendly meetups. So we had a few practices this past year with a few students who are really interested in starting that club. And we're hoping, if everything goes well and there is interest for fall 2020, that we can enter into a few tournaments with that same group of students and new incoming students, which would just be amazing. Similar to the Thunder Bay campus, we have those different levels of club teams. So there is varsity teams, like we mentioned, the men's and women's indoor soccer team. We also have varsity golf, which I didn't mention earlier. But for club teams, we have men's and women's basketball, which is similar to the soccer, where they go to tournaments, and men's and women's hockey. Again, similar layout, where they go to tournaments and play in weekly games in the area. We also have a dance club team and an equestrian team. So the dance team will enter into usually 2 competitions each year. Generally, it's been a pretty small group, but they're always looking to get more members into that club team. And then equestrian, they enter into several competitions each year. I think this past year they may have been in 7, again, across Southern Ontario. They go to those. For the question regarding the club swimming team, similar to Thunder Bay, if that's something students wanted to start on the Aurelia campus, we could look into getting that group together. We don't have a pool on campus, but the YMCA may be willing to work with us to get you to practice together, even during the open swim times, and we can see if there's any competitions we can get into as well. Again, similar to Thunder Bay, those club teams are usually student run. So if you are interested in starting one, just come and chat with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for covering the club teams in so much depth, both Laura and Raquel. Be mindful of the time. I know that we just passed 11 o'clock, which is bringing us to the 1 hour mark roughly. It looks like we've answered all of the Q&As that are in there. So I'll just briefly touch on the next few things. So recreation, we've already dove into this. We've chatted about the winter activities, the summer activities. This goes into a broader respect of not just organized activities, of course, or organized workouts or anything. This is just exploring and getting active within the community. So there's definitely hiking trails around campus. There's so much to do. I absolutely encourage you to explore these different opportunities on our website. So like I said, lakeheadu.ca/international, and then if you click on the Future Student tab, you can explore how to get involved and be involved on campus and off campus in all these sorts of activities. I know that we also chatted briefly about the Wolf's Den, the new athletic facility that's under construction right now in the Thunder Bay campus that's going to expand our current offerings. So I know we'll have some more student spaces, a very large gymnasium, as well as a few breakout rooms within the facility. And we're very excited to have that on campus and opening hopefully in fall 2020 to welcome our new students. If you would like to learn more about that, you can also visit the thunderwolves.ca website, and there is a new facilities update section. So as we receive updates from our athletics department and our construction team, we'll definitely update that as well. So the last thing I would like to mention is some general info to remind our students. If you are looking to stay connected with us, I do encourage you to follow us. We are on Facebook, so Lakehead University International. On that Facebook page, we actually have a group started for the incoming class of 2020. We have over 200 students on that group now, and they're already having great conversations about meeting students that are in their program, meeting students that are actually in the same hometown, finding potential roommates, establishing friend groups before they even arrive. Really, really great things I'm seeing on there. So I'm excited to see that continue to grow. We're also on Instagram, Lakehead International, and every Tuesday and Thursday, as I mentioned, we are on Instagram live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time meeting a current student. Tomorrow we will be meeting a student studying in economics, and she's from Vietnam. Her name is Kelsey. So if you want to join us then, we'll chat about her student experience, her academic experience, working on campus, being involved in film festivals in Thunder Bay, so much more. We're also on Twitter, Lakehead INTL, and last but not least, we're on YouTube, which is Lakehead University. It is the main university channel. We do have 2 dedicated playlists to our international audiences, Lakehead International and Lakehead International Lives. The Lives playlist is dedicated for all of our pre-recorded webinars. So once we're finished here today, we will upload this one for your viewing after the fact, or if you had to head out early and you missed the ending, you can always check out this recording. Last but not least, we know that taking a virtual tour, getting to see the facilities that you'll be learning in, studying in, living in, and exercising in, and staying healthy in is very, very important as to your academic decision. So we do encourage you to take a virtual tour from the comfort of your own home, of course. All you have to do is visit lakeheadu.ca/tours, and we have virtual tours arranged for both the Thunder Bay campus and Aurelia campus. So I do encourage you to do that. Once again, if you need to send us an email, if you have any questions for us, our general email is welcome@lakeheadu.ca. I certainly encourage you to reach out to us with any sort of questions, and we'll be happy to answer them or at least get you connected to the proper team at Lakehead. Otherwise, for me, that wraps it up. I do want to say a special thank you to all of my special guests today. It was a great conversation, and we definitely covered quite a lot of ground. So thank you again for joining me, to everyone who on our end here at Lakehead joined.